Hello, good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome to Babycode Free IELTS sessions. I'm Tanu Vermani, an IDP certified trainer and a TEFL to Solve certified trainer. So I'm back with my IELTS reading tips, right? So we did two more tip sessions, right? And today is the third session for the reading tips part. So please follow these tips if you really want to score higher bands in reading module. The candidates who are stuck between 5 to 6 bands or 6.5 and they really want to achieve a band higher, please follow these tips. Tip number 1. Don't expect to understand every word. Now, what happens is every student, they try to find out the meaning from the dictionary of every word they have in the passage. So many students have been taught like to look up every word in a dictionary they don't understand in a dictionary. The theory behind this is good. A wide vocabulary is a key to get a good score on the test, but worrying about all words you don't understand in the reading exam is one of the worst things you can do. So if you do not understand a word in the reading test, what you can do is you can start doing certain things. Basically, two things you can do. First is you can look at the words and sentences around it so that you can have clues and clues about their meaning and move on and forget about it, right? You don't have to understand the meaning of every word. Even if I talk about native speakers or an IELTS expert, would not be able to understand all the words in the reading test. So candidates who worry about the meaning of every word, panicking, and spending too much time thinking about words might be related to the question. Focus on the words that are related to question and don't worry about the words you don't understand. Okay? Practice your reading skills, not your IELTS skills. So it is important that you should familiarize yourself with IELTS reading tests and IELTS reading tips and gain an understanding of various questions. It is also important that you should learn from different of your mistakes basically. However, students who practice IELTS exam, they are missing out on a good opportunity like how to improve their general reading skills. So IELTS reading tests, they can be little boring. They are more likely to read regularly if you read, right? Or read about something you are interested in. So make a habit that you will read every day. Reading for pleasure a little every day will not only improve your English skills, but will also improve your vocabulary. There are thousands of blogs, newspapers, magazines, and newspapers like you choose from online mode. So start reading, practice your reading skills, not your IELTS skills. Tip number third, read the instruction very carefully. Now, many of the students, so many easy marks are lost by good candidates because they fail to read the instructions properly. This is especially true in reading and listening text because they give specific instruction. And you will get the question wrong if you do not follow these instructions carefully. For example, if the instruction says you have to write two words and or a number. So this could mean one word and or a number, two words and or a number. Even if a number is written as word, it counted as number. Example, 32. 32 is counted as 32. 32 cars is one word and a number. If you don't do this as stated in the instructions, you will lose a mark. Now suppose if the answer asks for two word only and the answer is red and yellow. So you should write red, comma yellow. If you write red and yellow, then these are three words. Red and yellow, three words. So therefore it is incorrect. So finally, one word means just one word. Look carefully with the articles also, a and the. For example, if you have an answer, an earthquake, and your instruction is one word. So you can't write an earthquake. You're supposed to write only earthquake, right? Otherwise, it will be wrong. Tip number 4, don't panic. Some of the questions, they will be easy, some will be extremely difficult. The key is not to panic when you try to answer difficult one. Nearly all of the IELTS teacher, I have to check, I know that they check the answers to some questions because they are so difficult. The worry thing is to do is spend a lot of time on question and fail to spend enough time on rest of the question. So if the answer does not present itself, move on to the next question. You can always come back to the difficult question later on. Answering other question will often help you, otherwise you will be losing all your questions then. Your time, your nerves need to be controlled to do well in the reading test. All the IELTS reading tip in the world won't help you if you can't control your nerves. So you will probably not get all the questions correct, and accepting this will help you control your times, your emotions on the testing, right? Tip number 5, it's really a vocabulary test. So in many ways, reading test is more of a vocabulary than a reading test because they will use synonyms, paraphrasing, sentences to test how wide your vocabulary is. So you need to prepare for this. And how to prepare for this is I advise my student to do three things: read, note, and review. As already mentioned in the tip 1, that reading is the best way to improve your vocabulary. Only just memorizing list of words is not as effective as seeing the words in the right context. So whenever you see a word you don't understand, try to guess the meaning from context. This means that you try to guess the meaning based on the words and sentences around it. You will be expected to do this in the exam. So it's a good idea that you should practice from now onwards. Only when you have done that should you check the meaning. Next is put all your words in a special IELTS vocabulary notebook. Record the meaning, things like synonyms, antonyms, collocations, examples, pronunciation. And you don't have to record all these things, just the one that work for you. All our brain work differently. So find out what helps you remember and use vocabulary. There is no point in recording all this new vocabulary if you do not review it. So after putting all the effort into looking up the meaning, recording the things, it would be waste of time if you do not check it regularly. Okay? So always look at the new vocabulary book 1 week after first studying. Tip number 6, timing is crucial. If you spend too much time on one question, you will have less time for other questions. So I advise that if you try to do the test quickly, however, if you try to do the test quickly, you will miss information and you will get confused. So what I advise my student is finish each section in 20 minutes. This break down to 16 to 17 minutes to read and answer the question, 3 to 4 minutes to transfer and check your answers, right? So you are advised to do with this format. Some teachers, what they advise is they advise students to spend a set or a fixed amount of time on each question, but this is not a good advice. Why? Because some questions, they are more difficult than others and they take more time. So what you should do is pay attention to your timing when practicing. You will notice which questions take you longer and which take less time. This will give you confidence to spend a little longer on certain questions and stop panicking in the exam. Everyone reads and answer questions at different style. So work out what is best for you and be wary of people who tell you to spend a set amount of time on each question, right? Tip number 7, ignore anything you already know about the topic. The higher the level, the more this problem affects people. Please remember that you are being tested on understanding of your text. Your knowledge of topic should not influence your answer. You know what happened? I had one student who I thought would get 8 or 9 in the reading test. All their practice tests had been at this level, and I wasn't worried about them at all. But unfortunately, this person had a degree in biotechnology. And the reading was the subject. Instead of carefully reading the test, he used their knowledge to answer many questions. They were very angry when the results came back, and it was only after talking about the test we established what had happened. So make sure you do not do the same mistake and base your answers on the text only. Don't make any assumptions based on your knowledge, right? Tip number 8, practice slow and fast. So many students, they have been advised by the teachers to practice the reading test under the exam condition. This means you do practice test in 1 hour without any help. Just like in the exam, this is a poor advice for few reasons. By doing so, the test under exam condition, you are actually putting up student or yourself on a very high pressure, a much pressure, right? And you don't give yourself time to reflect on how to answer specific question type. Spot some patterns in the question, how you answer them, note down vocabulary, and notice how much time you spend answering certain questions. It also does not give you a chance to analyze your question. You should focus on your mistakes, figure out why you were young, and then improve. This is a slow process and it should be prioritized too. Once you have practiced several tests slowly, you can practice them under the exam condition, right? Tip number 9, be careful whenever you're transferring your answers. You will be asked to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. A common mistake is spending too much time on reading and answering questions and leaving little time to transfer the answer. It is only natural that silly mistakes are made when people are under pressure. So I advise my students to practice with an IELTS answer sheet and see how much time it take them to transfer their answers. This will allow you to familiarize yourself with the process and have confidence on the testing. Next is leave no blanks. This might seem one of the obvious IELTS reading tip, but you would be surprised how many people leave blanks. Even if you don't know the answer, make sure you attempt every question. There is no negative marking. You might get lucky and you have nothing to lose. So it's better that you do not leave any answer blank. You should answer, you should write something, make a guess, but do not leave any answer. Okay. So I hope now you got an idea that what are the required tips for the reading module. Start practicing, start learning, and then see your wild journey. So, right? In the IELTS journey to conquer the IELTS exam, our live sessions can be a game changer for you. So do attend our live session at 4 p.m. where you can have your doubts, your queries, everything with me on a Zoom call, right? So stay tuned and do watch our sessions. Go to the babycode application and YouTube to watch our live session. Stay tuned for the tips and strategies so that I can help you how you can boost your overall IELTS score. Bye bye. Take care, all of you. See you at 4 o'clock.